I already did.
You
We're live. We're here. We did it, guys. Justin didn't want me to hit the...
How many snaps did they run in the 14 personnel?
That's only for us.
100% of the snaps.
I'm in charge.
You're the worst, Marco. Welcome in to 14P Fantasy. I am your host, Justin Wright. I am joined by my pain-in-the-ass brother, Marco Enriquez. What's going on, man?
What's up? Yeah, I might disappear for a few minutes in and out of this draft because my daughter might wake up at any moment. So,
no, Marco, tell Jane to just figure it out.
Yeah, she's like 5 months now. She should be able to just stay asleep, right?
Yeah, the fact that she would even think about waking up during a stream is rude and disrespectful.
It is rude, yeah.
All right, well, guys, before we get into, obviously, our Superflex startup mock draft here, we do have the Patreon page. Check that out. Over there for $2, you can help support the show. You get access to a monthly Q&A video. For $5, you'll get access to Dynasty rankings that Marco has yet to drop yet, our rookie rankings, our redraft rankings, a draft kit, a whole bunch of stuff throughout the year. And then that last tier, $9 a month, we will offer you guys a personalized Dynasty breakdown of one of your specific teams, 10 to 20 minutes, depending on the team. Check that out, guys. Patreon.com/14P Fantasy. Marco, go ahead and drop that in the comments actually as well, so people have the link there. But I think the draft room's already full. Like it's full. So let's just, that's not what I needed. That's the one. Let's do this. That's better. There we go. That is our mock draft board here. We have a full draft already. So if you're trying to figure out what the draft is, it is Superflex. We're going 10 rounds. And yeah, I don't think there's much else to share with it. Superflex, 10 rounds.
That kind of covers it.
12 teams. Let's go. Marco is picking second. I am picking 10th here. Let's start it up and get going.
Let's do it.
Marco, who's your 101 right now in a Superflex draft?
In Superflex,
is it Allen?
It's Allen, and I'm not even really considering Mahomes. To me, 101 is Allen easily, and 102 is also really easy for me as well. But I don't want to spoil it.
Who is it? Jonathan Taylor?
No, it's Justin Herbert.
Over Patrick Mahomes. You're going Herbert over Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, so
okay.
It's interesting. So I have in redraft, there's probably like 4 or 5 guys I have in that QB1 tier. In Dynasty, I've actually elevated Allen and Herbert in a tier of their own. And then I have Mahomes, Kyler, Lamar, not in that order even, but that group is in the next tier. So Mahomes, as much as I do think he's in that, he should be talent-wise in that tier, his supporting cast is not that anymore. And I think that Herbert is just a different breed. I don't think we've seen the best from Herbert yet, where I think we have seen kind of the ceiling for Mahomes, which is still phenomenal, but I like Herbert and Allen a little bit more right now.
I disagree with you. I think Mahomes is the 102, but again, it's like you said, they're in the same tier. I don't have any issue with anybody taking either,
Right.
over the other. Like, it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
how long until you think you want to go someone that isn't a quarterback? Joe Burrow goes at 103 here. Justin, I know your blood is boiling right now.
Look, here's the thing. Joe Burrow is a very, very, very good quarterback. That's not a question. For fantasy, he doesn't give you the rushing upside. Some of these other guys do. And yes, the supporting cast is great, but pocket passers fluctuate a lot in fantasy. It's just, if you're not going to get 200 to 300 yards at least, you are at risk of finishing as QB5 or QB12, right? Like you don't have that rock solid floor. And we saw that before that end stretch of his season last year. So Joe Burrow's very good. He's probably QB6 for me in Dynasty behind Lamar. Give me Kyler, give me Mahomes, and then Herbert and Allen. And then I'll take Joe Burrow, no issue. I don't think he's in the same tier as the top three, though. I think those three are in a tier by themselves.
Yeah, I mostly agree with you. The only quarterback you listed that I would be okay taking Herbert over is probably Kyler. But again, I'm not going to fight on it. I don't really hate it either way. And then, okay, so Justin Jefferson is the first non-QB off the board. What are your thoughts?
That's fine. I think there's three guys that could go as the first non-QB in a draft, right? Like, I mean, it's four. I'll say four. Jefferson, Chase, Taylor, Pitts. Any of them, even in a non-tight end premium, Kyle Pitts has that type of ceiling. He's really the only young, I think, volume-heavy tight end we see. Mark Andrews, as well, but I'd rather have Pitts over Andrews.
Yeah, so I've been talking about this with people a lot on Twitter lately. I have Pitts as the Dynasty tight end 1 in a tier of his own because of exactly what you said. I mean, he's 21 years old. He is going to see a bulk of the target volume. Obviously, they added Drake London, but still, he should see a enormous target volume or target share. And so I think, like you said, Pitts, Chase, Jefferson, Taylor, those are all the guys that can go right there. I'm with you. I prefer Chase as the first wide receiver. I would go Chase, Jefferson, and then I'd probably actually go Pitts, Taylor in premium. I might go Taylor over Pitts in non-tight end premium, but it's close for me. It really is.
Real quick, I just want to point out, I love that you're like slightly whispering because I know Jane is right next to you. You're
am I not
newborn?
I'm not as loud as I normally am. That's
it's a little bit like spooky sexy. I like
spooky sexy. That's my nickname.
Ugh, disgusting. Okay, Kyler Murray goes there. That is a pain in the ass. That's where I was hoping to go.
Right.
Yeah,
but this is easy, Ben.
Yeah. There you go, Kyle Pitts.
Yep.
I'm happy to scoop up Pitts there. It's not a fun pick. Like in theory, like you don't look back on my drafting and think,
wow, I got a tight end.
I got Kyle Pitts in the first. Like that's not as enjoyable.
Right.
But,
like even if you're like if you're like the 112 and you even get a chance to snag Pitts at the 201, it feels 100 times better.
Right. Exactly. And it's the same as like in redraft. When you take Travis Kelsey in the first round.
Yeah.
You end up kind of hating your team, like the look of the team, but it's just an obscene advantage. Like
it is.
It's just, I hate locking up a tight end early, but Kyle Pitts is worth that. I'm going to take him over any running back not named Jonathan Taylor because we're talking shelf life.
Right.
Like he's going
100%.
to last significantly longer than any running back that's available.
Yeah, well, and that's why I'm happy I was picking early in this mock because usually in our mocks you have the early pick, I have the late pick, and if we go super flex, I wait on QB forever because the top guys go, and I'm like, I honestly don't care, like I don't at a certain point.
Like the top 5 are gone, top 6 are gone.
Right.
I'm probably gonna wait. There's enough guys here that I like. There's plenty I think will get back to me that I'm not concerned about. So.
What do you think about this running back run here at the end of the round?
Yeah, they're all. Damn it, Hovis.
Okay. I was thinking you were gonna get Hall too.
Yeah, I wanted Hall. I wanted Hall there as the RB5 off the board. The age there is fun. Like that's just a fun pick to me. So I would have taken it. Now for me, I'm gonna go and look at wide receiver. Honestly, the quarterbacks here. There's plenty of guys I think. Prescott, Deshaun Watson, probably Trey Lance, like those guys all right there in a tier together.
Yep.
I'm fine passing on them. I'm looking between running back, wide receiver, and it is not enjoyable.
Yeah, it really isn't. I
feel CeeDee Lamb as my wide receiver 3.
CeeDee Lamb's one of the last like young guys. They're all fairly young,
quote,
but
unquote,
one of the last like top end young talents available at this point. And then you're like, it honestly makes sense to take the older guys. But in Dynasty, obviously, you just love taking like the guys you're like, this guy's going to be on my team forever, even if you're going to trade him in like a year or two.
Yeah, knowing you'll trade him away, pick him up, trade back for him.
Mid-draft, I'll trade him out.
Yeah, I mean, that wide receiver 3 spot, and looking at this roster, it's very much this is not going to be a win now team. I've just accepted that with those first 2 picks, and that's fine because that's very clearly an upside team.
Yeah, I mean, totally. Well, and the crazy thing is, I mean, unless Pitts goes off this year, and I think he will have a very good season, but I don't think he's going to be the overall tight end 1 in 2022. Yeah. Unless he does do that, this is a team that is like, yeah, I'm okay building this team, but it's not a win now. If Pitts did end up claiming that tight end 1 spot, then maybe it is a competing team, depending on what you do the rest of the way.
Right, exactly. So, yeah, okay. So what do you think there? Double stacking quarterback, Corey's set for forever?
Yeah, like he doesn't have to take a quarterback. Honestly, if you're me, you just pick a random serviceable third QB to fill in. I still don't love doubling up on quarterback in the first 2 rounds that early.
I don't mind it. If you're going to do it, you commit and you get 2 studs. Like, I think I'm very fine with that.
Yeah, I think we'll see what the rest of this draft looks like, but he might be looking really thin at a skill position, and I might have to do that depending on what falls to me too. And that's the thing with Superflex drafts, why I like picking late if I'm going to, and not pick a quarterback super early, because I like stacking my team up with all the skill players that have fallen who probably wouldn't ever have a chance to be there any other way.
Yeah, you fill out everywhere else. I'm very much a fan. Like, here's the thing. You can win a title. People will disagree, but you can win a fantasy title in Superflex if your quarterbacks are Derek Carr and Kirk Cousins. Because if
Kirk Cousins is a guy I love in Superflex. I absolutely love him in Superflex.
Derek Carr basically has been the ultimate, if you don't set it, forget it, you get a high-end QB2, and it doesn't matter. Like, if you can fill out a roster that way and beat the crap out of everybody with just skill position players.
Totally. And I think really, even if you don't want to go fully like Kirk Cousins, Derek Carr, if you have one top-end quarterback, your QB2 isn't like the most important thing in the world. It truly isn't. And people don't want to hear it in Superflex. They're starting to come around to it, but I think it's something that you have to hear. Like, if you have, like, for me, if I have Josh Allen, who knows who falls to me, I genuinely don't really care at all about who my quarterback 2 is. I don't. Like, as long as they play a little bit, I'm fine.
You could, again, everybody talks about in redraft, 1 QB. You don't got to take an elite one because you can stream quarterback. Okay.
Yes.
It's true for Superflex also. It's the same exact thing. You're just streaming at a deeper level, right? Like,
yeah, totally.
That's all it is.
So, okay, looking at who went here, obviously after Prescott was Andrews, Lance, Kupp, Watson.
Yeah.
There's 2 guys who I think I would have not taken here, and it's Andrews and Watson. What do you think?
Andrews in a non-tight end premium. Yeah, I'm not taking him.
Right, because this is non-tight end premium, but it's interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he's not even my tight end 2 in Dynasty, so I'm not taking him there. And I'm not looking at the other tight ends until the 3rd round.
No, totally. I'm with you. All right, so Debo, Christian McCaffrey go good. I didn't want either of those players, but I don't know really who I'm wanting right now. There's one guy I think that kind of stands out from the pack.
AJ Brown.
And it is AJ Brown. I'm gonna take him just so the time doesn't expire. We keep talking about it. Because where I'm at is I'll be able to snag a quarterback if I really want one next. And yeah, Jalen Hurts goes. Spoiler alert. I have no interest in picking Jalen Hurts. Like, he'll be awesome this year for fantasy, but that's kind of it,
We're still so unbelievably far out on Jalen Hurts.
I know, we really are. We're so different than most of what you're going to hear on Jalen Hurts. I mean, 2022, he's going to be a stud. We've talked about that. Okay, what do I want to do here? There's a couple guys. So
yeah,
I am considering, if I look at wide receiver, which I probably won't take one since I just took AJ Brown, but the Jalen Waddles of the world,
real quick,
DK Metcalfs of the world,
real quick,
T. Higgins. What?
He thought this was a tight end premium mock.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Also, I just realized the board's all jacked up. I'm moving windows around because my freaking work laptop, I can't show comments.
Okay, so
Very
I was
good.
running out of time, so I kind of had to panic pick here. But here's the thing: there's plenty of young wide receivers there that were interesting. Like I said, T. Higgins, Jalen Waddle, DK Metcalf. There's some of the other studs and Devontae Adams and stuff like that. Running back, there wasn't anyone that's like overly exciting. I think I'll probably have to go running back with one of my next 2 picks. We'll see who falls. But me now having Justin Herbert and Russell Wilson and AJ Brown, those are all guys that I can probably have on my team for a long amount of time. And again, now I don't have to worry about quarterback probably till the very end.
Yep. And we got Griffin in the comments saying Mark Andrews is set up for a career season with Hollywood Brown gone. I think you get exactly what you got last season, maybe slightly worse.
I think it's going to be very similar. I don't think it'll be worse. I think it's going to be very similar. I think what would have made more sense is if Hollywood Brown didn't go, he was in for a bummer season.
Yes, I was on that train.
I'm more on board with that than Mark Andrews now exploding. I think Mark Andrews is going to probably be his value.
I think Mark Andrews, I think, ends up being drafted. He'll be drafted in the second round of like redraft startups. Yeah,
and I probably won't mess with that.
No, I'm not. Travis Kelsey is the only tight end I'm taking in the first 2 rounds of redraft this year, and that's not even what we're doing here. All right, so you get Joe Mixon or Devontae Adams, Joe Mixon, Jalen Waddle. Thoughts? Anybody that doesn't belong?
I don't think there's anyone that doesn't belong, especially with who's there. Joe Mixon, maybe that's a little early. I think that Joe Mixon's going to be fine, especially for the next, year or 2. And you're looking at the next 3 years in Dynasty. So I don't hate any of those. And Jalen Waddle is probably between him and DK. If I went non-quarterback, was probably who I was looking at anyway. So I like those.
Yeah, exactly. And so what are you doing with running back here? Like right now, the top 3 or top 2 running backs. Let's screw it. 4 of the top 5. Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry, Alvin Kamara, Nick Chubb. Obviously, Gibson's in there, but aging running backs. I know my strategy when it comes to running back in Dynasty. What is yours?
Well, typically it's I'll take a young guy like the Breece Halls of the world, and if I can't, I'm gonna take someone who I know is going to be a value. And so right now we're in the spot in the draft where I'm willing to bet there's going to be a quarterback run before my next pick. So there's going to be a running back who falls to me. I'm probably not going to invest in a Derrick Henry, in a Nick Chubb, in an Alvin Kamara. I don't think they fall to me, but I don't think I'm excited about those guys. That's why I passed on them now.
Right. I'm not big into and this is just how I am never an immediate contender in Dynasty. I've never left a startup draft and thought I'm about to contend right now. Never happened. Never going to happen because
it's rare.
I don't love drafting players that I feel obligated to trade the following season.
Exactly.
I tend to avoid that. And that's why Corey. Okay. Well, Corey took a 3rd quarterback. He's set for life.
He's set for life, but also I feel like I would recommend don't do that. Like Corey's team will probably be fine. Like it's not going to be a bad team.
He's screwing with me. I know he's screwing with me.
But he did that literally. Yeah, he did that to make you angry, which I appreciate the heck out of, but don't take 3 quarters in the first 3 rounds of your Dynasty draft.
Well, for me, I'm looking at quarterback here. There's plenty of wide receivers. Again, there's a lot of older running backs. There's a tier break at quarterback for me here. I'm taking Trevor Lawrence because after that, it's Aaron Rodgers, it's Derek Carr, Mac Jones, Zach Wilson. I want Trevor Lawrence. With how my team is shaping up, Trevor Lawrence makes the most sense.
No, totally. Well, and I mean, you just talked about it with your last pick. You're building a team that's probably not going to compete right now, and so all you need is Trevor Lawrence to take a step.
Yeah. Also, I think one pick we need to talk about: Tua ahead of Justin Fields, ahead of Trevor Lawrence. That feels early to me.
Yeah. So in redraft.
Also, real quick before we dive in. Here's Corey. You have to take Fields in the 3rd. I can trade him for any 3rd round player. Yeah.
But your strategy shouldn't be, hey, I'm going to draft someone because I want to trade them.
That's your strategy in every league.
Here's the thing. If he didn't take Dak Prescott in the 2nd, I'm fine with Fields there.
But I do understand what he's saying. If you go like post-draft, quarterbacks gain value. It is a guarantee post-draft. There is a world where you could straight up flip Justin Fields for AJ Brown.
That exists. But do you want to build into your draft strategy? Like,
No,
hey,
I don't.
I'm going to give myself homework after this.
I don't, but also I'm going to leave with homework anyways. Like, it's going to happen.
Right. But that's like guaranteed. Like, someone's got to go.
Yes. No, that is very fair.
Yeah. Like T. Higgins went 2 picks after him. For the team makeup that Corey has, I would have 100% loved to draft T. Higgins.
Here's a question, though. Would you trade Justin Fields for T. Higgins straight up? I'm not.
If he's not my quarterback 1, I probably would.
Interesting. I'm not.
I think they're very close in value because I think T. Higgins is probably a top 8 dynasty tight end or a wide receiver.
He's a great dynasty tight end.
He's a great dynasty tight end.
Yeah, I'm looking, man. I'm looking at my who I need to draft. Drake London. I hate that. I'm looking here. There's just running back doesn't. I don't really want to take running backs with this team because it doesn't matter. Like, right. I'm not winning this year, so I guess with that, Justin Pretzel Marco. Damn right I did, Corey. Put Marco in a freaking blender.
I think I fairly stayed exactly with what I was saying.
No, I don't think so. That doesn't sound right. All right. So I'm looking at wide receivers. I may as well do it on here. I'm looking at Deontay. I'm looking at DJ Moore, Traylon Burks.
Can we talk about Drake London going where he did, though? What do you think?
I'm fine with that.
You like Drake London over all the other wide receivers available right now?
I don't, but I understand it. With that team, especially. I'm going to take Deontay Johnson. I'm taking my guy.
You love him, yep.
I love him. He's great. Deontay Johnson, I had this debate
He's the most undervalued wide receiver, I think.
I had this debate on Twitter yesterday. Someone's like, I'm still not sure. Like, a fantasy account was like, are we really sure Deontay Johnson's good? He only saw 160-something targets. What?
Yeah.
He's like, and then the whole argument was, well, he had a lot of drops and he didn't have a high catch rate. Okay. Well, Jamar Chase had a higher drop rate and a higher catch rate. Does that mean he's not good? That stuff doesn't matter for fantasy. Like, that doesn't dictate a good or bad wide receiver. So using that as a benchmark is a bad idea, by the way. Don't do that. Like, it's just, I don't know. What else does he have to do? He didn't accidentally get almost 170 targets. It just doesn't make sense.
And here's the thing. I don't care what you think of Kenny Pickett.
Right.
He's better than what Big Ben was last year. And it doesn't matter. Like, I was trying to trade Deontay Johnson for a little while just because I was so deep at wide receiver. And so what?
To me, because I have him in every league except for one.
Like, I have him. And I feel like you and me have tons of Deontay Johnson on our teams, but I was trying to move him just because I was so deep at wide receiver. And the thing I kept hearing back was like, oh, well, he could be a free agent. He gets to pick what team he wants to go to. When in the world is that a bad thing for a wide receiver of his caliber?
That's fair. It's not a guaranteed good thing, but it really can't get worse.
Right. Exactly. There's no situation where he has more competition or a worse quarterback. And if it was someone who wasn't of his caliber of a player, I get it. But he's a very, very talented wide receiver.
Right. The idea that him being able to run more than 5 yards down the field is actually a negative.
Yeah, that's just crazy. Bad logic.
Yeah. All right. So we're looking. You get J.K. Dobbins. I'm totally okay with that pick there. Michael Pittman, love it. Then you get Kenneth Walker, Cam Akers. That feels early for Kenneth Walker.
I think to me, it's a little bit just slightly early for both, but it's way too early, I think, for Kenneth Walker.
Kenneth Walker as basically an RB1 is what that pick is saying.
Right.
And I mean, the pick was made by Jason. That kid's an idiot, so we know it's a bad pick.
That's fired.
Hey, that's sweets. No, but I mean, like with his team, Jonathan Taylor, Trey Lance, DK Metcalf, I would have much rather had Alvin Kamara. I hate you. Alvin Kamara or a Dalvin Cook, right? Because that team's going to contend right now.
Right. And Kenneth Walker,
he's going to have a bad rookie year.
I mean, there's no way that right. It's not going to be bad, but he's going to fight to be a top 20 running back. Like, I don't think he can be that.
Not with the offense, a running back that is, again, in full PPR, a carry is worth like 0.5 points and a catch is worth like 2.5 or something.
Yeah, exactly. And
Rashad Penny,
it doesn't really matter what you think of Kenneth Walker's ability to catch the football. the offense doesn't do it.
Right. And it's not like they added him because he's an elite pass catcher. Now they're going to shift the offense.
Right. Exactly. It was already a major question mark.
Okay. Travis Kelsey at 5'1" is beautiful. That's
so
beautiful
I almost took him, and I was hoping he would come back around to me. So I'm a little devastated.
Pick. That is a great pick.
Oh gosh. Yeah. So I'm a little torn here. I got to decide what I want to do. Since Travis Kelsey did go, for some reason he hasn't gone for me. Can you pause it really quick? I'm trying to re-enter.
Who? What? Why are we pausing it?
Just really quick because my draft hadn't caught up. It didn't say that he drafted Kelsey. I had to restart.
Good.
Okay, so I'm back here. The draft has resumed. I've got a minute here. So I've got I've got two quarterbacks I like. I've got a wide receiver I like. I really like Travis Etienne. I'm getting into fights all over Twitter about him. And so now I have to ask, do I want to go tight end? The answer is no, I don't. There's a couple aging running backs here, a couple aging wide receivers as well. But I think I actually am going to look at Antonio Gibson here. He's a guy who I think is interesting. I'm going to draft him just so I don't run out of time. And I'm not taking him here because I think he's like, a long-term answer. I think he's going to be a serviceable running back. I think they're starting to dry up for who you want age-wise at Dynasty. And then there is so many wide receivers available that I'm fine taking whatever wide receivers come back. Like we're at the part of the group of wide receivers right now where like they're all the same for a while. So unless there's like and there might be an enormous run on a wide receiver, I'm probably going to get someone at the end of this tier to begin on my next pick.
Yeah. My team's in a weird spot right now. Like this part of the draft is weird because
my team's super weird right now.
I mean, also getting Gibson in RB 15, RB 16 there?
That's about his value, you know?
Yeah, that's where he should be taken. Derrick Henry's still lurking out there. I mean, there's no way I'm ever drafting Derrick Henry in a startup unless I am an immediate contender.
And there he goes.
Like this team, though. I mean, Mahomes, Mixon, Kamara, Henry, Debo. That team's immediately contending. That is the team that should be drafting Derrick Henry.
Right. And again, like, that's what you have to look at. Like, where is your team at come round 4, round 5? Because if you're not a contender, you should not be touching Derrick Henry or Saquon Barkley.
It just doesn't make any sense there. And yeah, like this team, okay, the fact that I can't drop this freaking window down, driving me insane.
Yeah, it's annoying.
But yeah, Lamar, Watson, Waddle, Moore, Barkley. That makes sense there. That team's going to compete right now.
Right. If you want to find a team with a major identity crisis, look at Jay Sweets. It's just like he had a plan, it went to hell, and he's like, I don't know anymore. I just don't know.
I love that it's Jason too. Oh, that makes me so happy. Yeah, because I mean, you're looking here like with my team, it is very clear I'm not touching contending. I'm not gonna be a contender.
Right, and you don't need to contend this year, but you could still. Like right now, how teams are laying out, you could potentially contend this year.
Yeah, I could go pick up a David Montgomery or like I could scoop up 2 guys there and be perfectly fine.
Right.
But I'm building something here.
What do you think about Davis Mills going right there?
Okay.
I really like Davis Mills. That's way too high.
Corey just out here sniping every damn player I actually want to take.
Well, that's your fault for literally vocalizing it right before your pick.
Yeah, no, I mean, it wasn't the best idea, but so I mean, I'm not obviously touching tight end. Running backs here, it's a bunch of guys I don't love. We're going back to wide receiver. We're staying young. I'm taking Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, I like that pick.
Garrett Wilson is the wide receiver 3 of the rookies coming off the board. Totally fine with that. Again, it's a young team. It's not a good team, but it is young and it's fun. And
I think we're both, because we're usually flipped in mocks. Like yes. I'm usually at the end, you're at the beginning. So I think we're both having teams right now that we're like, we've never had a team like this.
I don't ever just say screw it, no running backs. But here I am 5 rounds in, and I have said screw it, no running backs. And I kind of hate it.
I think if I didn't take a running back at all in my last 2 picks, I would be where you're at of like, I guess I'm not taking one.
Right. Like it's just, this is my team now.
Yeah. My last pick, I literally was deciding between Garrett Wilson or Antonio Gibson. And I was like, all right, I'm going running back. And then I might not worry about it for a minute.
The fact that Kittle is just sitting out there, wild. Well, never mind.
There he goes.
Hovis is not even paying attention. So yeah, there goes Kittle, whatever. I fully expect to get a text from him saying, I didn't mean that. Well,
I didn't mean that. Can we just restart the whole thing? That's what it's like to be in the draft with Hovis.
he hates drafting with a passion. So I mean, Kittle there, tight end 4 seems right. You know, there's not a whole lot else to say.
Yeah, that's not a bad value, I don't think.
That's totally fine there.
I also think Terry McLaurin's a good value. That last pick team is actually looking pretty interesting. They obviously don't have a quarterback yet, but again, that's my strategy when I'm late in drafts too. There's Zach Wilson. So there you go.
There's a quarterback there. So here's the thing. Right now, Mac Jones is the top quarterback. I'd rather just not have a quarterback.
Here's the thing. Mac Jones as an NFL quarterback, fine. He's fine. As a fantasy quarterback, there is so little to get excited about when it comes to Mac Jones.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. All right, I am just going to screw it. I'm going.
I like Elijah Moore going there. That's a good pick.
Screw it. I'm taking Jamison Williams. I'm taking another rookie wide receiver.
So you've now said officially, I'm done for 2022.
Yeah.
Because Jamison Williams, we're talking week 8, week 10 to actually see production from that guy.
Yeah, 100%. I've just decided I'm not taking running backs. This team is not going to touch contention this year, which means I'm getting Bijan Robinson 101. Although I feel like Red 617 is unintentionally coming for the 101.
Or Sweets.
Jason lives at the 101. But I mean, like I'm looking like Zach Wilson there. Are you okay with Zach Wilson in the 6th round as your QB1 on a team? This goes back to roster construction. On a team with Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs, 2 running backs, Terry McLaurin. I would have rather had Kirk Cousins.
I think Kirk Cousins will outscore Zach Wilson. So if that's your question, yes. But I think Zach Wilson will be close enough to Kirk Cousins this year that I don't hate it. But I mean, you do have to think about like his last 2 wide receivers and Diggs and McLaurin alone. They're older,
Right. Even Tyreek Hill, his last 3 wide receivers, all of his wide receivers are older. Zach Wilson probably doesn't put up QB1 numbers. So you have to find, and he's still out there, but you have to find another quarterback or 2 that you can actually have to utilize those, like their peak seasons, right? Because that's what they're in right now. They're in their peak or whatever.
Yeah.
Sarah's here.
And then a big
holy crap.
Big running back run.
Here we got Wilson adds rushing ability, and he does. I mean, I'm not saying he does not add, some rushing ability.
Right.
However, I don't think it's enough. Right?
I think I agree. I still think he's going to surprise people this year, but this isn't going to be like his huge breakout year. Like the team is figuring things out right now.
Yeah. Thinks Wilson takes a big step next season. I think he takes a step in the right direction. Like we're not out on Zach Wilson. I think he takes a step in the right direction, but with the guys you have, it's like a ticking time bomb almost in terms of age at wide receiver. That cliff is coming. I would just prefer older quarterbacks with that roster. Which isn't fun for Dynasty, but it'd be a hell of a contender this year.
Yeah. So then Hollywood Brown goes before me. And then I go Keenan Allen because my team is this weird amalgam of competing now, but maybe you've got a future. And so I think Keenan Allen is a home run pick in the second to last pick of the 6th round for a team that adds him as his wide receiver too. So I really like that a lot.
Yeah. And we got John here, not in love with Aaron Jones, but in stinky territory. Packers RB1 and wide receiver 1. Yes. I love Aaron Jones this year. And I notoriously fade him every season, and it's not
Yep.
happening this year.
Yeah. I'm lower on him than Justin for the first time, I think, ever this year.
Yeah, I have been fading Aaron Jones, and I'll say this. I'm kind of right when I fade, because he gives you like 2 40-point games, and then he's super freaking average. Like that is just a fact. So in a way, I'm right. Not
I mean, I'm not
statistically.
giving it to you, but sure.
I'm not statistically right, but in a way,
In a different, worse way.
if you squint, Aaron Jones has not been a good pick the last couple of years.
That's fair. Okay, what do you think of Devonta Smith going here?
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Devonta Smith, if you don't get A.J. Brown there, Devonta Smith is probably going in the 4th round.
Yeah.
Like, that's the difference. It's not that he's not talented. It's that, is Jalen Hurts the quarterback? Is it Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud next year? Or a different rookie quarterback that comes in that turns this into a true passing offense?
Right.
I don't think it's Jalen Hurts long term, but it could be. He could all of a sudden become a good passer. I don't know. Oh, Elijah Mitchell going Hurts. That was the one running back I was hoping would fall. Oh, dude. Running backs are bad.
Running backs are bad, but I have 2 of them, so I don't have to worry about it right now.
I made a mistake.
And I'm going to go with, where is he? I'm going to go with my guy, the new wide receiver 1 for the Ravens, Rashad Bateman. Gives me a little bit of youth and helps me kind of fill out my wide receiver room a little more.
That feels like they didn't update ADP.
And I stole him. That's exactly what it feels like.
Also, before my next pick, guys, remember we do have the Patreon page. Check that out. The link is in the comments. Mark will drop it in there again for him. Patreon.com/14p fantasy. For $5, you get dynasty rankings, tiered rookie rankings. You'll get redraft, a draft kit. $2, you get access to a Q&A video. And again, just, you can ping us whenever you want on Patreon. We're always on there. We will answer you guys. So check out the Patreon page. That way we can keep doing this stuff for free. Donate $2 a month. It'll help. Please. We love doing this for $0. It's great. There goes Chris Olave. There goes Mac Jones. I like that roster. The roster that took Mac Jones, because they have Mahomes and Brady for this year.
Mm-hmm.
You get Mac Jones the backfill the following season. I think that's perfect. Like, that is a perfect roster construction.
Yeah, and I think that's something that you really have to figure out when you're doing these dynasty drafts. Like, roster construction doesn't always mean a ton late in drafts, but if you're able to be smart about how you're building your team, like, that's something that your team can benefit from for the next 3 years. Like, you don't have to force people off your roster because your roster doesn't make any sense.
Right. It just exactly like if all the timelines and everything fit, Dynasty's a lot more fun than looking at one guy on your roster that clearly doesn't fit a timeline and just thinking, shit, I have to trade him. Like,
I keep looking at the draft board, but I also am currently trying to argue with someone who is saying that Zamir White is going to outscore Travis Etienne.
Okay, just stop arguing with that person.
It's a dum-dum.
Here goes. So we get a run. We get Hawkinson, Waller, Kenny Pickett. Jason's in that weird nebula still. And then Amon-Ra St. Brown, James.
The weird nebulous of, I don't know anything about what my team is
James
going to do.
Okay, Corey's team is filled out really well for running back.
He did add some really nice pieces at running back. And I don't hate Chris Godwin. Obviously I don't know if he's going to be a super high producer early, but long term he's going to be great.
Yep. And then my pick here, I get my QB2. I'm taking Kirk Cousins. Again, I don't think he's not going to vanish in 3 years. So that timeline makes perfect sense.
And you could always
trade
near the end of the season, move him for something
if I needed to. But here's the thing. Him and Trevor Lawrence is a perfect, I think, 1-2. Two guys that are probably
nice duo.
Back end QB1s, high QB2s. And I'll take Kirk Cousins in the 7th round of a startup.
Yeah.
Without hesitation, as like an easy QB2 for half a decade.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think he'll be there for a while, and he's got all the nice pieces.
Sarah's making food. She's whispering. She goes, "Do you care? Do you care?" She's back from work, and she was at the VA hospital, and we are here doing a fantasy football mock draft on YouTube. That's called Balance.
It's about the same thing.
Yeah, we're basically helping out. Hovis gets his first QB here with Ryan Tannehill. I'm fine with Tannehill in the 7th. 2 years ago, he was going as a 4th, 5th round pick. In the 7th, again, I don't think he's going to be great, but he's a QB2. No doubt about that.
Yeah. I agree. I think he's one of those guys that he has a very short shelf life ahead of him, but he still has value for the next year or two. I'm not hyper worried about him losing a job. So
not at all. And then you get Dalton Schultz here. One helps vets, one hates them.
I feel like that's a jump, but I get it.
No, because I don't have I refuse to draft veterans onto my team. Not like war veterans, Marco. It's a thinker. It's a tough one for you. All right, I'm looking here. There goes James Cook. I'm not getting a running back. I'm not getting a single running back. I'm going back to wide receiver. I don't care. I'm taking Darnell Mooney. I know Corey probably wanted him here. With Darnell Mooney as my wide receiver 4, I'm happy. I lied. My wide receiver 5. I have stacked up at wide receiver.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be obligated to take a running back because I don't want to. We got 11 rounds. I got to take 2 running backs before that.
Yeah, I don't really know. I've got my running back, so I'm happy, but my team is just weird.
Love the troops, hate the second contract players. Oh, man.
I think that's in Justin's Twitter bio.
Real pumpkin, love the troops, hate second contract players. Why not? There goes Leonard Fournette. Fournette's good. I am fine with that. I don't know if people don't like it. I don't think Leonard Fournette is going to be the dominant top 5 running back he was last year.
No, I don't think so either.
Rashad White is a better receiver than Leonard Fournette is. And it's a fact. I tweeted it, people hated it. It's true though. Like that's what he was drafted to do.
Yeah. That's the main part of his game, like if there's anything he needs to work on, it's running in between the tackles. It's not catching football. So that's exactly why he was added to this team.
Exactly. So you get Jerry Judy. What do you Jerry Judy in the 8th? He probably doesn't slip to the 8th without yesterday's news. Are you still comfortable taking him there? I am.
Yeah, I mean, the 8th is fine. If he would have fallen to me, I probably would have taken him. He's one of those guys that, like, this year, I think he'll be fine. I don't think he's going to miss any time. So this year will be a big indicator of what we can expect from Jerry Judy. Like, he's had all of these excuses for why he hasn't been a super exciting player, even though he was touted that way. So this year, like, we'll see what he can do with Russell Wilson.
Yep. And yeah, Judy this late is a steal. Those Chargers aren't going to be serious.
I don't think they will either.
Right. And for me, I just took Mooney, Judy, very similar this year to me.
I would have taken Cortland Sutton over Judy.
Really? You think so?
Yeah. I think they're back to back for me, but I would have.
I don't know what I think of either of them. I have no feel for that Denver offense this year, and I hate it.
Yeah, it's a weird one for sure. I mean, I have Russell Wilson, so I would have loved to get one of those receivers at this point, but
just get KJ Hamler, the real wide receiver one.
The real wide receiver one. Oh, the guy behind me is on auto pick already. So he went Amari, Christian Watson. I had Juju.
Dude, just take DeAndre Hopkins. Just do it.
Where? Oh, I didn't even see that he was there. That's actually crazy.
You don't like. That's the thing. Like if in a startup, if you're doing that, contending now, and he's going this late.
Yeah,
you clearly already have.
I honestly didn't even see that he was there.
You already have wide receivers there to play while he's suspended.
Yep.
And honestly, I'd rather have a guy that's missing time early in the season to suspension rather than injury. So, like, DeAndre Hopkins, is guaranteed going to be healthy mid-season. Like, that's a bonus in my eyes.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And yeah, that's the thing. That's like the makeup of my team. And I want to talk about Juju really quick. I think Juju is a home run in the 8th round, the end of the 8th round, the second last pick of the 8th round. He is going to probably be the number 1 target on this offense. Like Sky Moore is great. I think Sky Moore is going to be good. Juju's the number 1 target on this offense.
Yes. Yeah, no, Travis Kelsey is, and then it's Juju. Travis Kelsey's the wide receiver 1 there.
Well, yes. I mean, yes, technically, yes.
That's an important technicality. Also, Rachaad White goes. I hate it. I hate it with every bone in my freaking body. Who the hell do I take it running back? This is bullshit, man. Like I'm just scrolling down the list, and there's so many players I hate that I probably have to take.
Yeah, I mean that's the situation you've built for yourself.
Like I don't want to take Damian Harris.
You might have to, even though you just tweeted out about how awful. Oh, Gabe Davis, there he goes.
Good. I didn't want to take Miles Sanders. I might have a backup as my starter.
Right in the sweet spot.
Nothing like contention with guys that aren't going to play. I have made a terrible mistake.
You don't have a running back at all, do you? You don't have even one.
No, it's the 9th round.
Hey, look at this. This ended up being a Superflex startup, potential 0 RB, like super 0 RB.
I have 5 wide receivers.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I also have 5 wide receivers, but I have 2 running backs, Justin. So what have you done?
I have 2 quarterbacks and a tight end.
Oh, you have a tight end. That's right.
That's what I mean. I took Kyle Pitts, and I hate how my team looks.
Oh, there goes Cole Kmet. I was hoping he would come back around.
I'm looking at wide receiver. This is a weird spot where I don't love any of them. I'm not into really any of the quarterbacks left. Damian Harris, first running back on my team, about to hit free agency. Can't wait.
Right in the sweet spot. Nothing like grabbing a second contract running back with your first running back pick at pick 9, 10.
On a team that's not going to compete. Oh, I've made so many bad mistakes. Part of me wants to make this a real league now just to see how this crap. You actually did take a backup as your starter.
That's awesome.
Dude, I wanted James Cook. He got taken. I wanted Rachaad White. He went right before me. Like, I'm just looking back up and where I went wrong. I wanted Dave Montgomery. He went before me. That's about it. That's about the only mistakes I made. So, are you good with Cole Kmet over Pat Freiermuth in Dynasty?
Oh, 100%.
This season, yes. Long term, I don't know.
I here's where I'm at. I think they're both very good. So
Yeah.
that I should start with that. Not like, oh, yeah, because Freiermuth sucks. I think he's great. I think he's a good tight end. I think this offense is going to be really interesting and weird in 2023. So 2022, he's going to have to just scrape and fight for targets. And I think Najee is going to probably be the prime benefactor of most of those important, valuable targets. And I don't think Freiermuth will be. And then beyond that, I think Freiermuth will be fine. But there's a lot of other options on this offense, even if Deontay leaves. So I just don't think he's going to have the consistent volume. And when you look at tight ends in this in this tier, you're looking for the tight ends who are going to see volume. And I think Cole Kmet is a lock to see tons and tons of volume, because even if they add a rookie wide receiver in 2023, which they will, and he good, Cole Kmet is going to have to see targets.
Yeah, that's totally fair. The pick I'm about to make is hilarious.
Oh, gosh.
Ramondre Stevenson. I got the whole Patriots backfield.
I have no word for you.
But here's the thing. I want Ramondre Stevenson over Dameon Pierce. I want him over Isaiah Spiller. I want him over Kareem Hunt, Tony Pollard. Like I just happen to have Damian Harris, but I know Ramondre Stevenson carries value into next season when I expect to be slightly more competitive.
That's fair.
Like he is Damian Harris. If he's gone, Ramondre Stevenson is the immediate benefactor. This year, I don't care that they're bad, that they're doubled up. It doesn't matter to me.
What do you think about all of their late round running back additions? Are you worried about any of them?
Nope. It is very much just signaling, hey, Damian Harris is leaving next year, guys. We have our next backups on the roster. And also, I'm pretty sure one of them is going to get cut, or James White gets cut. I don't know. But they're not going to carry 5 running backs into the season. Like, that would just be ridiculous.
Yeah. I have to think about who the heck I'm going to take.
I know. Like, this point in the draft is, do you have a tight end? Take a tight end.
Yeah. Well, I was hoping that one of my tight ends was going to fall to me. They have not.
The perfect win now tight end is there for you, man. Just take him.
Brevin Jordan.
Yep. Exactly. That's who I was talking about. Yeah.
I'm going to go with Noah Fant.
Drew Lock sucks.
Yeah, he does suck. That's fair.
He's bad. Geno Smith is bad. I mean, what quarterback? Did they end up with a quarterback in this draft? I don't remember.
And I'm going to end it with my boy, Isaiah Spiller.
Okay, don't do that. Yeah, Isaiah Spiller over Dameon Pierce. I know Auto Draft took Dameon Pierce first, but
Dameon Pierce isn't going to be good.
No, he won't be. Not even a little bit. I am so confident in that. I don't see any reason. Dameon Pierce may not beat out Marlon Mack. That's a real, it's a real thing, which is insane. Like if that's a guy you're like, I'm gonna plant my flag on him, and there's concern about him not beating out Marlon Mack. You probably shouldn't plant your flag on that guy. Like, just don't do that.
Yeah.
Really good input. I appreciate it. Yeah.
So I was trying to wrap up all my stuff here. But here's the deal. Isaiah Spiller is a star. No, I'm just kidding. I think he's honestly, he's in a good spot to be the 1B in this backfield. They've been looking for it for a while. I think he's going to probably see enough work to be flex viable from depending on matchups, and who knows with Eckler's health what happens. I think he's going to take a little bit more of the rushing work from Eckler, because I think they want Eckler to continue to be more involved in the passing game. Edmonds, I'm not worried about. I don't like that option. I think that ultimately the Miami backfield as a whole is one that I just don't even want to mess with. I don't really care if they want to run the ball, because there's too many running backs there, and they're all average to gross. So no thanks on all the Miami running backs. Trey McBride, I like the pick. I think he could be a long-term asset for them. I know some people were doubting him recently, but I think he's going to be a perfect fit for a guy behind Zach Ertz. And then Chase Claypool just got taken a little bit ago. I mean, we've talked about Claypool. I'm not sure if you're with me here. I am. I think we've seen all we're going to see from Claypool.
I fully agree with that. All right, I'm looking down the list here, and it is so ugly. I have 10 seconds. This is bad. Okay. Screw it. Screw it. Tyler Algier.
I like that.
This is JT Barrett. I respect it.
I don't. I can't respect it.
I respect the crap out of it. I hate that I can't drop this damn thing. I just want to take one look at all of the rosters. Let's reload it, see if that does it.
Nope.
Oh,
they got you.
There it is. Boom.
There it is.
All right. There is our draft board. I am so glad this is not a real league. I am so happy. I have never hated a team I've drafted more than this.
Yeah, that's bad. That's a bad team. It's really bad.
What happened to me?
It seems like you were possessed by Hovis or Jason.
Yeah. I mean, when you're looking across the board here, like teams that stand out, fourth pick here, Pomf. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah, that's a good team.
That team makes sense, like from age and everything else. And then on the far right, if they had figured out the quarterback situation, I would love that team 10 times more.
Yeah. If they had one, Honestly, yeah, if Wentz was almost
Not
anyone
Carson
else.
Matt Ryan. If Wentz was Matt Ryan,
Yeah. Yeah.
would have taken Matt Ryan over Jahan Dotson and been totally happy there. Even Brady over Wilson would have been thrilled. But all right, man. You got anything else?
Honestly, I'm loving my team.
Okay.
My team is pretty filthy.
I don't like it because you picked it. Okay.
That's
all right,
nice.
guys. Well, that is all we have for you. As always, whoa. There we go. As always, guys, thank you for watching. Again, check out the Patreon page. I think we enabled tips on YouTube videos. So if you want to do that, do it.
Throw us a couple pennies.
Yeah, I could use lunch. That is all we have for you guys. As always, thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.
See ya.